Okay guys, so today we are going to be solving equations that have variables on both sides. I wrote down our steps that we usually do when we solve equations. So our first step is to distribute, then we need to combine like terms, then we need to add, subtract, and then multiply, divide. Okay, so let's do some examples together. We're going to start off with some basic things and then kind of progress just so that we can see how it changes from one variable or from the variables on one side to variables on each side and what that looks like. Okay, so here I can't distribute. I don't have any like terms, so we're going to look at adding and subtracting. But adding and subtracting doesn't work when your variable is in a fraction. So remember, whatever is attached to that x, we want to save until the very, very end. So the first thing we're actually going to do is we're going to get rid of this 2. Since I have my dividing line, my 2 is getting divided by my 5x, so the opposite is to multiply. What I do to one side, I must do to the other to keep my equations nice and balanced. I also like to draw a line down the middle so that I can keep everything organized. Okay, so I got rid of the 2 on this side by doing the opposite operation. So now I have 5x equals negative 20. Again, we want to get the x by itself, so we want to do the opposite operation with whatever is attached. My 5 is getting multiplied by my x, and the opposite of multiply is divide. My 5's cancel, leaving just my x value, which is what we want, our x all by itself. What we did to this side, we must do to the other side, so we're going to divide that side by 5 as well. Negative 20 divided by 5 is negative 4. Okay, I have another refresher problem for you. So we have 6y plus 3 equals negative 15. Okay, so on this problem, again, we are trying to get that variable all by itself. I like to draw my great wall. And whatever is attached to my letter, we want to save that until the very, very end. So the first thing that we're going to do is get rid of this 3. We want it to be 0 because we want that y by itself. So the opposite of plus 3 is minus 3, which makes that 3 0, leaving us with 6y and one step closer to getting the variable by itself. Since I subtracted by 3 on the left-hand side, my scale starts to tip, so I have to subtract 3 on the right to keep everything balanced. Negative 15 minus 3 is negative 18. Then I want to get this y by itself. Since my 6 and my y are getting multiplied, I do the opposite. I'm going to divide by 6, which leaves my y all alone, my variable isolated. What I do to one side, I must do to the other to keep everything nice and balanced. Negative 18 divided by positive 6 is negative 3. Okay, if I had a problem that looked like this, 2x minus 7 equals 6, there's a few different ways to solve this problem. I'm actually going to solve it a different way. I'm going to keep this guy all together because my variable is attached to my number, and I want to get rid of my 2 first. Well, since my 2 is getting multiplied by whatever's on the inside of the parentheses, I want to do the opposite of multiply, which is divide. I forgot my wall. Oh no. Okay, I'm going to divide off my 2, leaving x minus 7, and you could have distributed if you wanted to. What I do to one side, I must do to the other to keep my equation nice and balanced. 6 divided by 2 is 3. I still want to get this x by itself, so I'm going to do the opposite of minus 7 because I want it to become 0 and get the x alone. I add 7 to the left, and because I added 7 to the left, I also have to add 7 to the right. Keeps everything nice and organized and balanced. So x is 10. These are some review problems, just to kind of get you in the swing of things. And you have some on your assignment today too, which is why I wanted to go over them. Here is a brand new problem. Negative 43 minus 6x equals 48 plus x. Notice that I have a variable and a number on one side and a variable on the number on the other side. So we need to get our variables together. We need to get rid of the x on this side so that it goes away. Okay, so we're going to draw this cute little line. All right, we also need to get rid of our numbers. We need to move 1 to the other side and make them 0. So let's focus on this x right here. If I wanted to get this x alone, then I would need to do the opposite of positive 48 and minus 48 on each side. Now, it doesn't matter which of these four parts of this equation you want to deal with first. I'm just picking one. Okay, so now I have negative 43 minus 48, which is negative 91. So I've got negative 91 minus 6x equals x. Now this looks a lot similar to this kind of a problem. However, instead of having a number and a number on each side, I have a letter and a letter on each side. So it's pretty similar. We want to get our variables alone. So if I moved my 91 onto this side, I'm not helping it get any more alone. Since my 91 is on the left, I want to move my 6x away from that side, make it 0, and put it over on the right-hand side. Because I want all my letters on one side and all my numbers on the other side. So the opposite of minus 6x is add 6x. Those guys cancel, leaving negative 91. Okay, now on the right-hand side, I have 6 x's and one more, which makes a total of 7 x's. Now this problem looks a lot similar to our cute little one-steppers we've done before, where we just have to do the opposite. So the opposite of multiply is divide. So we want to get that variable all by itself, so we're going to divide. What we do to one side, we do to the other. And negative 91 divided by 7 is negative 13. If you don't love putting the number first and you want to switch it around, it's totally fine. It's called the symmetric property, and you can. Okay, let's do another one. So I have 4x minus 72 equals 24 plus 12x. Okay, so I want to get all my numbers on one side and all my letters on the other side. Okay, so I'm just going to pick one to start with. I'm going to draw a cute little line down the middle. Oh, it's kind of wiggly. Okay, let's start. Since I moved a number first, I'm going to move a letter. Okay, and I like my letters on the left, so I'm going to move my letters to the left. So I'm going to do the opposite of plus 12. When you go over the wall, you have to do the opposite when you add subtract. So I'm going to minus 12x on each side. Okay, hold on. Sorry about that. Okay, so then we're going to combine the 4 and the negative 12. So 4 minus 12 is negative 8x. And then we are going to write down the rest of it. So minus 72 equals 24. Okay, so since both of my letters are on the left, I need to get my numbers together, and this problem looks really similar to what we've done before. So we're going to get this negative 72 away from my 8x because I want to get my 8x by itself at the very, very end. So we're going to add 72 to each side. Negative 8x equals whatever 24 and 72 make, which is 96. Then my last step is to get my x by itself. We're going to divide each side by negative 8. Notice that we've already done that before. Math is very, very similar patterns. And 96 divided by negative 8 is negative 12. Okay, let's do one more together just so we know you have the hang of this. If my problem was negative x minus 201 equals 63 minus 12x. Okay, again, we want to get the x's on one side and the numbers on the other side. Okay, I'm sorry, let me take this. Okay, so let's write goal, variable, one side, numbers, opposite side. Okay, this is our goal. All right, so right now we have a variable on each side and a number on each side, so we want to group them together. So I really liked how the last one turned out, and it turned out very similar to the other ones. Again, it doesn't matter which of the four you move first, but let's just move our x's and we'll move it to the left because that's what we're used to. So the opposite of minus 12x is plus 12x, and the reason I do opposite is when you add subtract and you go over that gray wall, you have to opposite. So we're going to add 12x on the left as well, and 12x minus 1 is 11x. Minus 201 equals 63. Okay, now again, we're down to a problem that we're really familiar with. We want to keep this 11x and save it till the very, very end, but we want to get all the other junk away from it. So since we're subtracting by 201, we need to add 201 to each side. That makes our 201 cancel, leaving our 11x, which is what we want to get to. And we're going to do 63 and 201, which makes a total of 264. Our last step is to get this x by itself, and we're going to do that by doing the opposite. The opposite of multiply is divide. So we're going to divide each side by 11. When we divide 264 by 11, we get 24. Okay, let your teacher know if you have any more questions. We'd love to help you. Have a wonderful day, guys. Bye.